Hello and welcome back to English for You. I'm Seb.
And I'm Mike.
And we are still cycling forward with our
I'm so tired. My legs are
Mike, you
burning.
haven't cycled anywhere. We've been standing right here in the studio.
Standing talking about cycling is making my legs burn. No, you're right. We're not biking. Hilton and Jane are adventurous bicyclists, and they're trying to bike
all the way to Ilan, which is a long way.
That's right. Taipei to Ilan. And they're not using the new tunnels. I don't think bikes can use those
that would be dangerous.
It would be dangerous and not nice being inside with cars driving around. So they're going over the hills. And yesterday, Hilton was giving Jane some tips about safety, telling her to bring a helmet, make sure she has her gloves. And then he was giving her sort of tips and advice on how to ride safely as well.
Yes, so tapping on those brakes, slowing down before a corner, and pedaling faster, you know, when you're getting round to speed up. So anyway, have they got to Ilan?
I don't know. They had a good start, but yeah, they were still on their way when we left them yesterday.
Yes, so let's find out.
Reading. On the road to Ilan, Jane and Hilton are in Ilan.
Hilton, we need to stop. I think I have a flat tire.
Okay, let's take a look. Yes, this needs to be repaired. Let's walk for a bit. There must be some bike repair shops nearby.
They find a bike repair shop.
There's a problem with the wheel of my bike.
Ah, yes, there's a leak in your inner tube. Don't worry, I'll replace it for you.
Thanks.
Where have you come from today?
We started our journey in Taipei.
Why did you decide to ride here?
We both enjoy spending time in nature. The fresh air was so nice. Besides, bikes don't produce any pollution.
That's true. I like to go on bike trips as well. I find the exercise helps me remember the scenery and the events of the trip.
Yes, everything stands out more.
Okay, I fixed your tire, so you're good to go.
Thanks for helping me.
Jane and Hilton leave the shop.
All right, so we begin as usual with our dialogues, and we start with a sentence that sets the scene, kind of tells us what's going on at the beginning.
What is going on?
What is going on? It says Jane and Hilton are in Ilan. Yay!
Whoa, they made it.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. Everything's worked out for them.
Let's hope they made it on the bikes and they're not there by ambulance or train or...
No, I think they made it by the bikes, but I think there was a problem. Because Jane says, Hilton, we need to stop. Oh, so maybe they're not quite there yet.
Okay, they're
so
near.
They must still be going because she says, we need to stop. I think I have a flat tire. No, that's a common problem, a flat tire. A flat tire is basically when there's a hole in the rubber bit around your bike wheel and the air comes out. So it goes flat. You know, you push an empty tire on the floor, then it just has a flat line at the bottom because there's no air to push it up. So
exactly.
She has a flat tire. She can't ride well on a flat tire.
No, it's not good to ride, not safe, and you will damage your bike. So get off that flat tire as soon as you can. Yeah, happens to bikes, can happen to a scooter, can happen to a car. I think bikes, it's maybe more likely because the tires aren't so thick and strong. And you drive over a little sharp rock or something, and you can get a flat tire. So it's good to know what to do. So let's find out if Hilton knows what to do. He says, okay, let's take a look. So you can imagine them kind of looking at the tire, maybe even listening to it to see if they can hear the sound of air kind of coming out.
Yes.
Sometimes people put water on it and then you see little bubbles where the air is pushing up through the water.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Soapy water can be useful for that. Anyway, so he looks, he sees that, yep, there is a hole in the tire. That's why it's flat. This is something that they need to fix. Or as he says, yes, this needs to be repaired. We're going to be talking about something being repaired, but first we'll talk about this quick little phrase, to take a look. He said, let's take a look. look. Let's take a look at your tire. To take a look at something is to look at it and to try to find out information, all right? To observe
Probably
it.
quite quickly,
Probably
right?
quite quickly, but you're observing something. You're not just saying, hey, look, there's a thing there. No, if you're probably bringing it close to you, looking at it from different angles. You want to maybe see if there's something about it that you didn't know before. In a shop, someone might say, oh, are you looking to buy a new watch? Well, we have lots of different watches here. Would you like to take a look? Would you like to come over and examine them all carefully?
It sounds kind of casual and friendly as well.
Exactly.
Don't stare at it for hours,
right.
but seeing as you're here, just take a look. And they're going to have to do that before they repair the wheel as well. So repair is a verb, and when we repair something, we make it stop being broken or damaged, basically. We make it good again. So Jane's tire is flat, it has no air in it, it has a big hole in it, so they need to make it okay to ride on again. To do that, they need to repair it. So let's look at an example sentence for repair now. I have to take my computer to the shop to be repaired.
Obviously, there's something wrong with your computer.
Probably not out of air.
No.
Repairing it in a different way. So, it could have a virus, it could have been dropped or banged. But anyway, we need to make it good again. It can be fixed, it's just damaged. Now, repair, you'll notice, has RE at the beginning of it. And when a lot of verbs have RE, that means that we're doing something again. So another similar word we could use like repair is refurbish. And that is where we take, an old building or sometimes a car or something similar, and we change the things inside it to make it new again, or to make it a newer version of what it is now.
Right.
So let's say that Jane and Alan bought an old house and refurbished it before they lived in it. So they didn't move in right away. They took out all the old dirty things and put in some new furniture. They refurbished it.
There you go. So they didn't knock it down and build a new one.
No.
Because there's the re there, the doing it again. Like we often say, repeat something. Say it again.
Exactly.
Repeat the word. Okay. So they're going to repair it. They're going to try to bring it back to good working condition. So as they kind of look around, and I think Hilton here is saying, let's walk for a bit. Of course, they can't ride the bike because it has a flat tire. There must be some bike repair shops nearby. All right, and if you're in places where lots of people do ride bikes, often near the bike path or near the popular bike road that everyone uses, you will find a bike repair shop. Think of it as a garage for bikes, but we wouldn't use the word garage. That would be for motor vehicles.
Exactly.
In this case,
so if you had a scooter that had a flat tire, you would take it to
the garage.
The garage, yes. Anyway, it seems like they only walk for a really tiny bit, actually. They only walk for a tiny bit because it immediately says they find a bike repair shop. Yay! Hooray! See, repair can also be used as both a verb and a noun. So here we saw it as a repair shop, a shop that repairs things. Anyway, Jane says, there's a problem with the wheel of my bike. Okay, so wheel. Wheel is a noun, and a wheel is a circle that we put on the bottom of cars, bikes, carts, and other things to make them roll forward. We can also use this word as a verb and wheel something around. When we push a cart or something similar that has wheels on it, we are wheeling it forward. You have to be careful when you're riding something with wheels though. On a slippery surface, they can skid or slip. And if you lose control of them, then you'll crash. Lastly, we also use wheels as a slang term to mean a car, normally a new one. So check out my new wheels, for example. That would be a good way of using that. Anyway, here is another example sentence for wheel, just as wheels as we saw it in the article. This car is a little unusual. It has 3 wheels. So, fun fact, what is a 3-wheeled car called in the UK?
Bad idea.
It is a bad idea, because it's not really stable, is it?
They fall over. I think they were called Robins when I lived there.
That
was the model. It was a Robin.
That was the model, that was the brand. But I'm 90% sure they were also called plastic pigs.
Plastic
pigs.
They kind of have a front like a pig, right?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like a little piggy face. Maybe that's why. Interesting.
Yes.
Not a good idea. You're right. 3-wheeled cars,
they wobble.
They tip over.
Technically, they're motorbikes.
Really?
In the UK, technically they're motorbikes.
But usually it's only old people who drive them very slowly
in 1990.
Around the town. Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's get back to our mechanic. He says, yes, there's a leak in your inner tube. So he's found the problem. It is a leaky tire. She does have a flat tire because of this leak in the inner tube. We'll explain that in a second. Don't worry, he says, I'll replace it for you.
Another RE word
Right, there you go. Yeah, replace it for you. This is from the mechanic. A mechanic is someone whose job it is to basically fix and maintain machines. Machines with moving parts and all sorts of other little fiddly bits. Mechanics know all about it. They've probably studied them. You could look at it and within a few minutes probably tell you exactly what's wrong, and then they'll be able to do the work to make it right again. Now, we mentioned earlier that bikes don't go to a garage and cars do go to a garage, but in all of those places you will find mechanics. A bike mechanic, a motorcycle mechanic, a car mechanic, an airplane mechanic, a helicopter mechanic.
Not all in the same store.
Not all in the same store, but all trained experts, trained people who know how to fix those specific machines. So no matter where they work, no matter what that place is called, the person doing the work will be a mechanic. And we also had this word, a leak. A leak, we can use it as a verb, to leak, but here it's a noun. It's a small hole in something that is allowing what is inside to escape. Okay, so this little hole in the tire is letting the air come out, and after a few minutes, there will be no more air. You will have a flat tire. If you have a leak in a boat, small amounts of water are probably coming in. You have to get near the land, keep throwing that water out, or find a way to stop the hole, to stop the leak. Now, when Jack and Rose's Titanic ship hits a giant iceberg and a giant hole appears, that's not a leak. The idea with a leak is it's a fairly small hole, allowing small amounts to leave over a while. But if it's a giant tear or
car-sized hole,
that's not a leak. So the idea with a leak is it's fairly small. For example, there is sugar all over the floor. There must be a leak in the sugar bag. Someone just cut the corner and it's just kind of pouring out slowly but steadily.
Well, you're probably going to have to replace that sugar bag then,
Definitely.
or at least put it in a different bag.
Repair it, yeah.
Yes, repair or replace. Now, replace is a verb, and when we replace something, we get rid of it and use something else instead of it. So, for example, if you drop your phone in a glass of water, don't know why you would do that, but if you do, it'll break. So, you'll have to replace your phone with a new one. You'll have to buy a new phone because your old phone is broken. We can also replace people too. And that's a little bit scary because when we replace them, normally we fire them.
Oh, I thought we were going to be replaced by robots or something.
Maybe in the future.
Like in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways. Yes.
In some kind of weird dystopian future, maybe we will all be replaced by robots. But for the time being, when we replace someone, we fire that person and get a new person to take their job. Or maybe that person leaves because they want to do a different job, but you get someone else to do their job instead. So there are two ways of doing that. And that new person will also be called a replacement. So that is a noun for a thing or a person that is taking the place of something else.
Okay, so there's the A thing and there's a problem with it, but you still need that thing, so you get a B thing to do the job of the A thing.
And then you're okay.
And then life goes on.
Which is 2 more letters.
Okay.
Anyway, example sentence, Jenny lost her umbrella, so she needs to buy a new one to replace it.
There you go. She needs a replacement umbrella. Got it.
B umbrella.
All right. So Jane says thanks to the mechanic after he tells her what's the problem, and don't worry, I'm going to fix it. She's happy to hear that. The bike trip can continue and everything seems to be fixed. So the mechanic is then sort of just kind of starting some casual chat. He probably has lots of people coming through his shop and he's just, got some interesting questions. Where have you come from today? He's asking them. And often when you're in a little town between two big places and you're traveling through, stopping at a gas station or a local restaurant, someone might say, so where are you going today? Or where you come from today? What part of the journey are you on? And where did you start? So Jane
bit of
explains.
chit-chat.
Yeah, just some chit-chat.
Jane says, we started our journey in Taipei.
Oh, okay.
And if I was the mechanic, I would have been pretty impressed by that. But it seems like the mechanic is not as impressed.
Well, he probably sees all the crazy bicyclists. So these are just 2 more in a long line of people who've come by. And so he asks her, Taipei, and of course they're near Yilan. So then he asks her, why did you decide to ride here? You could have ridden to Geelong, you could have ridden the other way, down through Taoyuan or other places, up to Danshui. So why did you decide to come down here to Yilan?
Well, Jane says, we both enjoy spending time in nature. The fresh air was so nice. Besides, bikes don't produce any pollution.
It's true, they don't.
Those are good reasons, lots of good reasons. The first, we saw that she likes fresh air. Well, the air is very fresh there. Now, when we're talking about air being fresh, we're just saying that it's clean. Normally, it's the air in nature, so you might be told very often that you need to spend more time outside in the fresh air by your mum. You know, stop playing video games and go outside, get some fresh air. Go out into nature, do something healthy. But we also saw the word produce as well.
Yes.
And we don't produce fresh air, do we? So what do we produce?
We don't, no. So no, it's true, we don't produce fresh air, but nature does. The trees and living things around us do. Now, when we talk about produce here, we're using it as a verb, but a lot of you guys might think about like places that produce things. Factories produce products, right? Cows produce milk. Yeah, well, we can use it that way, but we can also just use it to talk about something that gives off something, okay? Like that perfume you're wearing produces a very nice smell, a very nice scent, or the food that they're cooking in the kitchen. It's producing this wonderful flavor, this wonderful smell that's making me so hungry. Okay, so we can talk about it in that way. It's not a factory, it's not a machine, we're not making things to sell. This is just part of nature. This is just part of what that thing does. Flies produce noise when they fly around. You hear that buzzing in the room. You don't need to see the fly. You can hear the fly because of the noise that it makes or the noise that it produces. For example, this new type of sweeping robot produces little noise. It makes or creates little noise. It's very quiet.
We also saw the word pollution too. Now, pollution is a general term for all of the dirty things that humans put out into the air, the water, and the environment in general. So, for example, if the air in Taipei seems very foggy one day, there's a lot of dust, then it might not actually be fog. It might not be clouds moving low. It could be air pollution, and that's when the air is very dirty. Maybe a lot of the bad stuff from factories or car exhausts gets up in the air and it gets kind of smoggy. You can't see as well. Maybe a little bit gray or brown tinge in the sky. That's air pollution. So we could also say that the cars and the factories are producing pollution. They are polluting the environment. We can also use it as a verb as well. They are polluting the environment.
Artificial, unnatural stuff that goes into the environment, makes it sick and, not
kills
healthy.
Bees.
Kills bees and us eventually. All right, back to the mechanic. He's saying, yeah, that's true. He agrees with what Jane was saying about everything about the bike trip, and also about the fact that bikes don't produce pollution. This is a really good feature of bicycles compared to cars and other things. So he says, yeah, that's true. He agrees with everything she was saying. And then he adds, I like to go on bike trips as well. So he doesn't just fix bikes, he rides bikes. I find the exercise helps me remember the scenery and the events of the trip. That's a really good point. When you're traveling by bike, first of all, you're surrounded by nature. You're not inside a car with windows and glass and doors between you. And of course, you're going more slowly. So it gives you time to look around. When you're driving your car down the highway, you shouldn't be looking around.
No, you can't be like, oh, look at that, those trees are very pretty. And then...
Exactly, but if you're on a bike and you're not going downhill or moving quickly, you have time to look around. And that, he says, the mechanic says, helps him remember the scenery. He remembers the journey and the beautiful parts of the land that he sees. And that's basically what scenery is. We talk about scenery as being mainly the attractive parts of the natural world. A beautiful mountain with a lake right next to it, some trees, that kind of thing. We wouldn't talk of the scenery by the garbage dump down by the airport.
No.
It's part of the land.
Unless you're into something very specific.
That would be a weird thing. But, generally it's something beautiful that will make you want to stop, take a picture, do a painting, something like that.
Anyway, we also saw the word event, didn't we?
Yes, right. The events of the trip. And an event is basically something that happens. Probably something interesting, something that's, will stick in your mind, stick in your memory, that you'll tell your friends about. You wouldn't ride along, we saw a stop sign. That's all? We saw a stop sign and there were two monkeys sitting on top of it fighting over a banana.
That's an event.
Okay, that's a little more interesting. It's something that you would remember, you'd tell your friends. It would stick in your mind as being unusual or special. For example, Justine told me about some of the exciting events from her trip to South America. She's not going to tell us about brushing her teeth in the hotel.
Exactly. It's probably like seeing Machu Picchu.
Right. Or going to the carnival.
Hiking in the
carnival
Andes.
parade in Rio. Yeah.
All of that. It's not going to be, I don't know, pouring yourself a glass of milk one morning.
I had cereal.
Exactly. Wow. No, but moving back to the article, we're still fixing our bikes, aren't we? Jane says, yes, everything stands out more, right? More reasons why it's great to go by bike. Anyway, we saw the phrase stand out, and that would have really gone well with your explanation earlier with the scenery and the events. Those are things that stand out because when things stand out, they are very noticeable. Probably because they are different from the things around it is different from the things around it. So, or different from what we're used to as well.
Right.
So imagine an enormous elephant walking around your school playground. That would probably be quite noticeable, wouldn't it?
Very.
You don't normally see an elephant in your school.
That would be an event.
Yes, that would be an event,
Definitely.
because the elephant would stand out. It would be very noticeable, very noticeable.
Right. A large gray animal standing right there.
Exactly.
Stepping on your
It wouldn't
classmates.
fit in.
No, definitely not.
No, because fit in is the opposite of stand out. Okay, so you fit in, you stand out.
So if it fits in, you probably might not notice it.
There's elephants in the school all the time.
If it stands out, you'd have to be blind not to notice it or looking at your phone all the time. Anyway, so the mechanic says, okay, I fixed your tire, so you're good to go, right? The repair job is done. He's repaired the tire and they are good to go. This casual expression just means you're fine to go, you're free to go, there's no reason for you to stay here. I'm saying, hey, if you want to leave, go ahead and leave. You're good to go.
Okay, so Jane is good to go. So she says, thanks for helping me. So that seems like everything's fixed now. So Jane and Hilton leave the shop. Almost said Hamilton, which is not Jane and Hamilton, it is Jane and Hilton. Anyway, they leave the shop presumably to go to Yilan train station and go back to Taipei.
Continue on their journey, hopefully, Exactly.
An exciting ride to the mechanic.
Right, and hopefully they don't have any other problems through the rest of their journey.
No more flat tires, no more problems with their brakes. Well, they didn't have any, but hopefully there will be none. Anyway, we're done with the journey. So I think it's time for us to see our last For You Chat question.
Okay.
And leave Jane and Hilton to find their way back to Taipei.
I think they'll be fine.
I think they will.
Yes.
For You Chat.
Okay, so I think this is a good question we can ask anyone, really, and I think everybody has different answers for it as well.
All right.
It's to do with our mechanic. I'll ask you, Mike, are you good at fixing things? What do you know how to fix? So, are you much of a handyman, basically? Are you much of a handyman?
I guess. I mean, most of the things I have don't break that often,
mine do.
Which is lucky. If it's something complicated, like with involving electricity, I might not try to fix it because I wouldn't want to make it more dangerous. I have fixed things on my guitar a lot. That's something that I use a lot. It gets damaged. It's got fairly simple parts, and I know what most of them do. So, you know, with that some type of thing, or my bicycle, before I took it to a repairman, I might try to fix it myself. But, you know, if it was a car or my computer or my washing machine, I just probably wouldn't try because I don't want to make it worse.
You don't want to make it worse, exactly, yeah.
So how about you? Are you a handyman?
No, I would have to say I'm not really much of a handyman. I know how to stop a phone from breaking if you drop it in water.
Oh, okay.
So that's not really fixing it, though.
No, but that's handy.
Yeah, you can just like drop it in a cup of ice. Rice. Rice. You put it in rice.
Oh, I've heard that
and it will absorb the moisture. Yeah, don't put it in ice, it will just get wetter.
That's just more water.
Yeah, that's just more water. But yeah, no, I'm not good at fixing things. I just moved house, actually.
Okay.
I was in the bathroom setting everything up, and I noticed it had one of those electric mirrors, the ones that heat themselves up so they don't get steamy.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, I tried to fit it onto the wall and I electrocuted myself.
Ooh, you didn't turn the power off from the fuse box.
I didn't turn the power off.
Okay.
So,
see, that's why I don't mess with electricity.
Yeah, that's why you don't try and fix things.
I've done that before.
Yeah. because it's ow. Anyway,
exactly, yeah. If you're good at fixing things, be sure you really are, and you're not just guessing and watched a quick video on YouTube, because bad things
Electronics are for the professionals.
Don't have accidents.
So, what can you guys fix? Don't answer electronics, answer something else. You guys ask each other, and we will join you again soon for more exciting English for You articles. Hopefully about road trips.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
And hopefully things go just as well as they seem to have gone on Hilton and Jane's. All right, that's it for us, guys. Stay safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel. Look out for
tap
the cars.
Those brakes.
Yeah, tap those
Slow
brakes.
down at corners.
And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
On the road to Yilan. Jane and Hilton are in Yilan.
Hilton, we need to stop. I think I have a flat tire.
Okay, let's take a look. Yes, this needs to be repaired. Let's walk for a bit. There must be some bike repair shops nearby.
They find a bike repair shop.
There's a problem with the wheel of my bike.
Ah, yes, there's a leak in your inner tube. Don't worry, I'll replace it for you.
Thanks.
Where have you come from today?
We started our journey in Taipei.
Why did you decide to ride here?
We both enjoy spending time in nature. The fresh air was so nice. Besides, bikes don't produce any pollution.
That's true. I like to go on bike trips as well. I find the exercise helps me remember the scenery and the events of the trip.
Yes, everything stands out more.
Okay, I fixed your tire, so you're good to go.
Thanks for helping me.
Jane and Hilton leave the shop.
Vocabulary Review.
Repair. Fred took his broken watch to the store to have it repaired. Wheel. The front left wheel of Tom's car ran over a sharp piece of metal and its tire went flat. Leak. Water dripped onto Bill's head from the leak in the ceiling. Replace. Roberto replaced his old car with a brand new scooter. Produce. This factory produces tons of harmful gases every year. Event. The moon landing was one of the most important events of the 20th century.
智慧小补帖
Mechanic. Pollution. Scenery.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net